Santos, our host tonight. You guys fucking suck. Let's go! Most of you guys probably don't know this tonight, but it's actually kind of a historical moment. Both my parents are here in the same room together for the first time in over a decade. At the back of the room there's my dad. That's where I inherited my goofy looks and my short dick. And over here is my mother, the closeted psycho. I don't know if you guys know what it's like to have a crazy mom that looks that wholesome. It fucking sucks. Nobody believes your stories. Alright guys, got that out of the way. I had to embarrass them both. Alright, I've been doing comedy a short time here. Actually, they're both probably my biggest fans. It's honest, and now that you're both here, I just kind of want to thank you for fucking me up so bad that I'm actually kind of good at it. No, I've been doing comedy a short time, and I've realized every time I'm up here, it's a new chance to introduce myself to a new group of people. And normally I like to start with telling them that I'm from Belleville. And most of you guys probably know exactly what you need to know about Belleville, right? Yeah, whoa, fuck Belleville. What I like to tell everybody that's not from here is Belleville's a nice looking city that if you look close enough at, there's always some sketchy shit going on. Yeah, this place specifically. No, I was showing a friend around town recently, and we went by the market downtown, and she's like, oh my god, it's so beautiful. And then smack dab in the middle of the bench is a crackhead just aggressively hooting off of an empty crack pipe, trying to get high off the fumes of fucking hope. And then we went to a grocery store after that, and we got to witness this wholesome moment of a grandma with grandchildren in tow, showing her grandchildren how to pick the best apple out of the pile. And then when that grandma looked up, she had a Mike Tyson style tattoo down the side of her fucking face, like, oh. And the first thing I thought when I saw that inked up, G'd out G-Mom is I wonder what the fuck her spaghetti tastes like. You know what I mean? It's definitely got some extra spice to it, maybe a little sprinkle of fentanyl for that after-meal nap, you know what I mean? Everyone's passing out after dinner thinking it's the carbs. That's opiates. But that's Belleville, honestly, in a nutshell. It's part of who I am. What else should you guys know when I tell people? Oh, I've only done meth 2 times. Just twice. That's not so, considering the Belleville thing, that's good fucking numbers. Okay? And both times it was separate cases of meth pretending to be other drugs. I don't really have anything against meth necessarily, but meth with identity issues can suck my dick. I don't know if you guys know what it's like to be at a strip club waiting for the ecstasy to hit you, and the next thing you know, you're looking around the room, tweaking out, having paranoid thoughts, like, I think that bitch's titties are looking at me weird. You know what I mean? And that meth ruined the night for everybody, because imagine what it was like to be that stripper, just doing her job, shaking her shit, and on the other side of the room is my fat ass, looking around the room, jaw gyrating at 1,000,000 gyrations a minute, occasionally giving her areolas a skeptical stare. Anyways, what else? I was born with a speech impediment. Good job not laughing at that one. Cool, sorry guys. No, it's true. The doctor told my parents that I might have a lisp for my entire life, and the same doctor, true isn't it, told my parents that I was going to be a midget. Look at me fucking now. Look at me now. And that doctor's dead now, and obviously he was terrible at his job. But I wish I could shake that man's hand today, because he set the fucking bar for expectations so goddamn low, pun intended, that I'm a fat, college dropout comedian, and they're both fucking proud of me. Like, that's a good deal, Like, if I reach the top shelf, and my mom gets me to reach something on the top shelf for her, she'll get teary-eyed. Then if I hit her with some razzle-dazzle, like supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, that woman will weep. Okay? It's an easy life. What else? I'm the kind of guy that does my best thinking in the shower. Is anybody like that? You like that? Alright, cool. We got some weirdos. Which kind of sucks, because I fell in the shower recently, actually at my mother's house. And, sore naked with my nuts out in the bottom of the tub, I got to realize how alone I am in this world.
I didn't hear him.
Yeah, excuses. She said she didn't hear me. Look how big I am. She didn't think she heard me hit the ground. The Syrian family downstairs was diving under their table. They thought it was just strip bongs. And anyways, so, cause listen, if a kid falls in the shower, that could, that's terrifying for a parent. No parent wants their kid to go in dirty and come out dumb. And if an old person falls in the shower, they could go in, it could be catastrophic, they could go in dirty and come out dead. If you're in your mid-20s and you fall in the shower, you just go in dirty and come out defeated. That's it. Nobody cares that you got hurt. And that saying, the bigger they are, the harder they fall, that's not just something they say to short people before a fight. That shit's science, okay? I was feeling it. And the worst thing about falling in the shower is that you have to shower afterwards. You can't get out stinking of loneliness and defeat and your balls smell like a bag of salt and vinegar chips. You gotta write that one out. I love that my dad's the one that laughed hardest at that week. No, what else about me? I don't have any tattoos. I like to bring that up just to set up this joke. I don't have any tattoos, not because I have anything against them, but when I was younger, I told myself having tattoos might hurt my employability. Now as an adult, I've realized it's who I am as a person that hurts my employability. I'm sure you guys can see that. My mouth has gotten me in trouble everywhere I go. I graduated from Loyalist here in Belleville. Thank you. I didn't use it. It was another waste of money. But I did pretty good there, student government. Somehow in between sniffing counters and banging fat chicks, I got on the dean's list. It was pretty good. But in my last semester, I almost got myself kicked out. And what happened was, we had a class, it was called Standards and, I don't know, who gives a fuck what the class name was. And we had to do a presentation on our code of conduct in social work. At the end of the presentation as a group, throw up a scenario, ask the class how to handle it. So, I did my own presentation, I sat through all these presentations. At the end of the day, the last group to go up is the sexual misconduct group. And the voice in my head that's ADHD is like, I've been sitting here quiet far too long, it's time to fuck around and say something stupid, how about it? So they get up, they do their presentation, they set up their scenario, they say, you go to a friend's party, and when you get there, you realize there's a former client at your friend's party who was asked to leave your agency for making sexual advances on one of your coworkers. And that voice in my head's like, here we go. I can see where it's going. I'm smiling ear to ear like Bill Cosby at a sleep clinic. You know what I mean? Ear to ear like Bill Cosby at a narcolepsy support group just because you didn't like that one. And so I let them finish, and what they say is you end up alone at this party with the client. And they approach you, and my dumbass throws my hand up faster than a SpaceX rocket and screams, grab her by the pussy. In a sexual misconduct presentation, I immediately split the room into 3 groups. First group knew it was a joke, thought it was funny, laughed, they were with me. Second group knew it was a joke, but thought maybe not the thing to say in a sexual misconduct presentation. And the third group of unfuckable white bitches and one male feminist named Kyle act like I just licked my fingers and grabbed a client like a bowling ball right in front of them. And the class explodes, and Kyle, the white knight, being a male feminist, because evidently ran out of ways to get his ween sucked on, you know what I mean? Like, he unironically wears fedoras and eats avocado toast. He's like, Zach needs to apologize. Someone understood that. Someone at her work eats avocado toast and she fucking hates them. And so he tells the teacher that I need to apologize, I need to be kicked out. The teacher who was on my side, she's like, no, Zach's joking, like we all know he's joking. Like, yeah, I'm not gonna be out in the field grabbing clients like a blind Republican, you know what I mean? Like, Ashley? Jessica, how are you? Like, I'm not going to be doing that. And so the next day, I caught wind that they were talking about kicking me out, but I was in student government. They said, you're going to lose your student government, and that's pretty much all I got. And that was kind of a win, because if I had to sit through one more government meeting of the nursing group talking about air quality, I was going to dolphin dive in front of a CN train. So the moral of this story really is that there's a time and place, to quote Donald Trump, and a liberal arts school is not it. What else? I've had to get because of my big mouth, I've had to get pretty creative with my employment choices. For a while, I was bouncing around from factory to factory. And I realized in the factories, there's a very underrepresented group of people that work there, and it's the loose cannon, middle-aged, perverted white woman. They will say anything. I just let them talk and take notes, like, these bitches are gonna make me fucking famous. And, there was one girl that I worked with, named Darlene, maybe one of the most quotable people I've ever met in my life, where she would just blurt stuff out. One time on the line, she goes, so I just got a new puppy and I got a new boyfriend. All right, Darlene, sounds like a happy story to me. She goes, but when me and the new boyfriend have sex, the dog jumps on the bed and sniffs the boyfriend's butt. It's like, all right, Darlene, I think a door can solve this, but I think you have a better idea. And this is where you see the level of genius she's working with. She goes, so I'm gonna strap a GoPro to the dog's head, get some good angles of that shit. That is some Martin Scorsese type thinking right there, guys. But then she'd have moments of not so genius where she kept using the word Indian when talking about natives, and especially in this area, it's very touchy. She kept saying Indians. So one time I go, Darlene, it's not Indians, it's natives, Darlene. She goes, listen, we're from a different time. What you call natives, I call Indians. What you call Indians, I call Packies. So, she's not working with a full deck all the time. Then in another factory, I had a cleaning lady. Her catchphrase was, I can't count and I like dicks. And there's a story behind that. We can sum it up with she can't count, she likes dicks. That's pretty much all there is to it. She called her janitor's closet the sex dungeon and just constantly talked about sex. So one day she comes up to me and goes, how many lips on a pussy? I'm like, I don't know. She's like, dummy, 4. I was like, oh, sorry, I wasn't ready for a WAP quiz today. And so I'm like, wait, I thought, you told us you can't count. You've been holding out on us. She looks at me cheeky like, I can probably count dicks. So I heard that and had an idea I kept to myself that day. And on the way home, I stopped into the sex shop, grabbed those dick-shaped gummies, the bag they got. We're going to put this shit to the test. I'm sorry, I just need to drink water here, guys. So I come to work the next day, bag of dicks in hand, go up to her at lunch, dump it out in front of her, tell her to count. She looks at me, she looks at them, her eye twitches, she goes, 42. She was right, 100% she was right. I was like, this freaky little dummies and stuff. What? All right, guys. Are we finally on the other end of COVID? Can we agree that we're done? Yeah, no, yeah. I stopped paying attention to the numbers. I'm just gonna raw dog air. I don't really give a fuck. You know what I mean? I'm just gonna bareback my oxygen and hope for the best. And we can admit, those 2 years sucked. But the first few months of COVID, there were some unprecedented things that went on that we'll never see again. Like the media's, speculations on the origins of COVID. First, was it a pangolin? Did anybody know what the fuck a pangolin was before COVID? Anyone else hear penguin in their childhood died? Penguin didn't have anything to do with this shit. Or was it soup made from nocturnal mammals? Nobody was sure. What it never came around to? Monkey fucking. Not one person speculated that COVID came from someone fucking a monkey. Wrong continent for that shit, wasn't it? 100%. If COVID came from Africa, there would have been someone on Fox News my sources say this a monkey fucking got something to do with this one. But instead our racist ass media was what Asian stereotype can we lean into for this one? And they're like, well, they ate weird shit. And the whole world was like, bat soup it is, let's go. So another thing that happened at the beginning of COVID is they started telling us how to have COVID-safe sex. Do you guys remember that? And first it was have sex in doggy style, and aforementioned, I'm into that one because I got a short dick, and that's how you get the most stroke. That's my move. Or they also suggested, a government official suggested using glory holes. I guess if there's any time to use a glory hole, a global pandemic is it. What else is there to do after Tiger King? Might as well go get your wings sucked on by an unidentified stranger. Doesn't sound that bad. And then where I think they crossed the line was wear a mask during sex. The last time I tried, like we're playing doctor, wearing a mask, the last time someone tried to convince me to play doctor, it got weird at summer camp, guys. I wasn't okay with that one. And like, I hate that my parents are here. I don't even wear a fucking condom, okay? My contraceptive strategy is spray and pray. That's it, alright? When I nut, that's the biggest laugh I got in you. When I nut, it's like telling a rumor. Honestly, once it leaves me, it's free to become whatever the fuck it wants. You know, it could be a stain, it could be the next leader of the free world. It's not up to me anymore. And one of my absolute favorite thing about COVID that first few months was there was this crazy rush on dating sites. Everyone was just trying to get laid before they died. I was putting up numbers, telling hella rumors, if you will. I met some crazy girls, had some crazy experiences. This is no word of a lie, on my second date with a girl, which is honestly just her coming to watch Netflix, she bought me an $800 bag. $800, so on the second date, which means on the first date, your boy fucked his way into a new workbench. What's up with it? How about that? And you know how boring dating is if you don't receive furniture afterwards now? Like, I'm just in pillow talk, like, Daddy could use a new lazy boy chair. I had a girl catfish me. I got catfished for the first time. Like, I know what I look like. You know, I'm not the stapler handsome. I look like my fucking dad. So, you know how bad a girl's gotta look like if I feel like I've been catfished? I'll do the math for you, carry the two, add the one, real fucking rough, okay? And the craziest girl I ever met, she was so insane. She had an personality disorder where she had 8 separate recognized personalities. And I'm the type of dude, I'll fall for a personality. This bitch went 0 for 8. 0 for 8, okay? Behind her back, me and my friends called her Mambo number 5 because I didn't want Pamela, Angela, Sandra, or Rita, okay? I didn't want a little bit of Monica in my life. I got the biggest laughs out of the older people in the crowd because the younger people know that song. But all 8 personalities had daddy issues and like butt stuff, so we kept her around for a while. So I wasn't the only one getting laid at this time. I have a little brother, and he cashed in on that COVID craze. I could tell he had a date, he knew it was coming, and he was super nervous. He kind of came to me for some advice. And I was talking to a girl, my first idea, let me take a picture of you, I'll edit it down to, you know, meat and potatoes, no one will know it's you, and I'm gonna make him a cheat sheet. So she's like cool with that, and in the process of editing the picture, I switched it into negative color, and realized a picture of a vagina in negative color looks a lot like a topographical map. You know, the one that shows the mountains, you know what I mean? So I saved that picture on my phone thinking it's hilarious, and a friend found it a couple days later, like, what the fuck is this? I was like, oh, that's just the Himalayas right there. There's Mount Menorah and Mount Majora, and there's Clit's Peak. And they say there's a cave system in there with a special spot, but no man's ever found it, so that shit's just a myth. You know what I mean? So I took the regular version of that picture, and I circled the top for him. I was like, there's the clit, be nice to it, not too rough, a little that's my move, little circulars. And then I circled under that. You go any farther, you're gonna find the hole. You don't start top, go bottom, don't just start jamming in there. When you're in there, in, up, back into the attic, but don't start pulling out insulation, you know what I mean? And then I circled under it, and I was like, that right there, that's the butthole. If you go any farther, you're gonna find it. It's a lot closer than you think. Some girls are into it, just ask first. So I sent him off into the world with his newfound wisdom. He comes back a couple days later with some new swag. He's telling me the whole story. He's all excited, but I can tell he's leaving something out. He's not telling me something. I know the kid his whole life. I'm like, what are you being weird about? Why are you telling me something? He's like, I don't want to talk about it. I was like, we're fucking talking about it. He's like, I did something my friends made fun of me for. And I'm like, I didn't think I had to put a circle with an X over the girl's belly button. Like, what'd you do? And he goes, I went down on her and all my friends made fun of me. And I've never been so proud and disappointed at the same time in my whole life. I can't believe my parents are here right now. And I looked at him, I said, Nathan, I eat ass. Okay? I'll eat ass on the first date. Thank you. If you don't eat ass, you need to grow the fuck up. Anyways, I'll eat ass that just got home from the gym. I'm not fucking care, okay? And so, and then I realized there's a generation of kids that is growing up that thinks it's disgusting to go down on a girl. The same generation that snorts condoms and eats Tide Pods won't munch them up. The same generation that grew up the song WAP, you know, there's some hoes and this. Those hoes are gonna have to finish themselves off in the bathroom after. You guys have been great. I'm Zack Jessup.